All right. What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York, and on the phone we return with Jake E of Cyhra. Thank you for your time today, man.
No problem. I'm so happy that you had the time to talk to me a little bit.
Yeah, it's always great. It's a busy time, but always make time for Cyhra. You were one of the first interviews, so you'll always have a place in Heavy New York.
Awesome. That's fantastic to hear.
Yeah.
If you're wondering what's sounding in the background, I'm actually at what is it? Playground.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I took my kids out, and the wife needs to take care of the kids while I talk to you.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
So I just watched the music video for Out of My Life. The music video is pretty badass. First thing is always first. Is this song a clear indication of what the whole record is going to sound like, No Halos in Hell, or do you think that this is just one taste of it?
No, the whole album is very melodic, very riff-driven, and also very catchy. I think that compared to the first album, this one has a bit extra of everything, so to say.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not just a follow-up to Letters to Myself. This record is going to be like its own thing and its own entity.
I would say that it's a natural follow-up to Letters to Myself. But one thing that I felt lacked on the first album is that, it didn't lack anything musically in that sense, because I loved the album. It's one of the best things that I've ever created. But when we went out touring on the album, we felt that some of those melancholic, slow-paced songs didn't really fit into the live set, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, especially if you're opening up for Sabaton and Creator.
Yeah, but exactly. So what I tried to do was to focus on getting this album more live-friendly, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, a little bit faster songs, a little bit more hooky stuff on both vocals and guitar melodies that the audience could sing along to.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. This music video, it was like an action movie, almost like something out of the Terminator. Was this a vision that came after you wrote the music, or was this like part of the whole idea for No Halos in Hell?
And now, actually, something that I always wanted to do. I recently started with acting as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long time dream that I've had for so many years. And I've always wanted to add some kind of a dialogue into a music video. So that was really fun to do. And, I've always been the video visionary when it comes to music videos, not only in Cyhra, but also in my former bands. And for those of you that are aware of what I did before, you can see that those videos are, have this theatrical look on it, if you understand.
Exactly.
So it was nothing that just was for this song. It was just something that I really wanted to do. And the song is called Out of My Life. So I wanted to create something that you could relate to. And in this case, it's me being badly injured, and I seek some kind of revenge.
There you go.
And those guys got what they deserve, I guess.
you could say the least. Is there a similar creative energy that you channel into like directing music videos as you do with music, or is it like a completely separate mind frame altogether?
They touch each other absolutely in one way, but the cool thing with working with the video is that you have to add another dimension to it, because now, like with music, it's like you can call that 2D, and with music videos, you have to think it's 3D. You have to think about angles, lighting, how the script goes together, and what scene fits with what you did before, and how everything is going to line up, and you have to do everything in 3 minutes. So like the basic work is the same, but then you just add more layers to it, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. Being that this music video ended with like a cliffhanger to it, are you gonna like make a music video for like every song? Is this gonna be kind of like as much of a movie as it is an album?
As always, what I tried to do a little bit is that, you know, the Karma video that we made a couple of years back for the first album, the director Patrick O'Leary added to be continued in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So in one way or the other, we had to, you know, follow up that video with this one for Out of My Life. So I mean, the story is vaguely, you know, a continuation from the Karma video, and now he did it again. It was actually not my idea. It was actually the director did just send me the master, and all of a sudden it was to be continued. So I guess that we have to figure something out for the next video. We haven't recorded that one yet.
Yeah, there you go. Well, what I find unique is because I thought Letters to Myself had a great narrative behind it. Is No Halos in Hell going to have like a similar flow? Like in order to maybe get the concept of No Halos in Hell, you have to listen to Out of My Life. In order to get the concept of Battle from Within, you have to listen to No Halos in Hell, and so on and so forth?
I would say that there are a bit like that, but it's not a concept album at all. But the songs are for themselves, but it like the overall lyrical concept is more or less the same. It goes a little bit right and left sometimes, but overall you will connect the dots when you hear the whole album. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, some stories are lined together, but it's not a conceptual album in that sense that you need to read one lyric and then it continues into another one, as I did with my old band back in the days.
Okay, so it's like it's not like people could come into this album from any direction, right? They can maybe start off with Man of Eternal Rain or Hit Me rather than starting with Out of My Life if they wanted to. If they put it on shuffle.
Yeah, absolutely. The track order has nothing to do with it in that sense. Absolutely.
Okay, interesting. One thing I find really unique is I kind of addressed it earlier, but I thought that, you know, being that your Cyhra has members, I've mentioned it on the other 2 times I've interviewed before, but, you know, having members of In Flames and Amaranth and all this, and, you know, I thought there was a lot of room for experimentation at this group. Are you, like, experimenting even further? Like, is there going to be a lot of different sounds and vibes on this album?
Honestly not. I think that we found, I mean, like, our main core in songwriting already on the first album. Production-wise on this one, I think that it stepped up a couple of notches. But the only thing I'd say is that this album sounds a little bit more whole, if you understand what I mean. I don't know if you could say like that in English, but you hear. One thing that I like with the mix of it is that you hear every single instrument, and in that way you also get a little bit more live feeling out of the songs. But we have an experiment, like all of a sudden we start to record bulldozers and, you know, add to the music or something like that. So it's more or less follow up from the first one when it comes to sounds and whatever keys we've used and so on.
Mm-hmm. Now, in terms of the lyrics of this album, I thought, you know, Out of My Life, I was really focusing on, as I was watching the visuals, I was actually paying attention to the lyrics to like see how they kind of support the visual and vice versa. Are you trying to maybe leave this record open to interpretation, or is there kind of like a story that you are trying to maybe engage the listener and maybe see things from your point of view?
It's so interesting that you asked me this, because like this is a question that I really want to have in interviews, because lyrics is something that is really close to heart. And when I write lyrics, I obviously have an idea about what the lyric is about, but I always try to make it so that when you listen to it and you see pictures, you will have one idea. When you just read it without the music, it could mean something else. And then when you hear it together with the music, it could be one thing. And, you know, sometimes it's obvious for people, but I also write my lyrics so that I could touch this vein in the listener, that they could relate to it in their way. So, I mean, when I write something, it means something to me, but it's worded in a way that someone else could take it to them and just say that, yeah, I completely understand what this lyric is about, but maybe I had a complete other idea of it.
If somebody were to like have a different connection with the song than you did, like if they saw something completely different, can that change your perception or your perspective on who you are when you first wrote that song?
Interesting. Yeah, I guess so. Because sometimes when people mention things for you, like, yeah, I see it this way, and, there's like a light bulb coming up over your head, and you're like, oh, shit, yeah, I haven't thought about that. So, yeah, absolutely.
Do you need music before you come up with these lyrics, or does the lyrics ever, determine the outcome of the music itself?
I usually work a lot with my subconscious. And I usually write the music first, and then I start to just mumbo-jumbo something over it. And you just record something, and there's words coming out of your mouth, but it doesn't make sense because you just add words to find the melody to the song. But sometimes, and actually pretty often, there's sentences that comes out of you that just like, oh, what does this mean? And then you start to, question yourself. What was it that I just said? And then you start writing something that is around that subject. But I rarely write lyrics and then write music. I usually start with the music and then go into the lyrical process, so to say.
Do you find it easier to come up with ideas when you're more alone in isolation, or does it come easier? Is it easier to come up with ideas when you're with your band?
No, I always need to be alone. I need to sit in my studio, and I need to set time aside to write music. I need to, completely focus on that. Today I am in writing mode, and I have a family and 2 kids, and so on. So during the days I never have any time to think, to be honest, about any other thing than changing diapers and go to hockey practice. So I'd say I need to be isolated. I need to be by myself, and especially when it comes to lyrics, I cannot have anyone near me when I'm doing that. Unless it was like on this album, when we finished, we did the final touches on the lyrics in the studio. I had a lot of people around me, but then the lyrics was 99% done, and you're using the other guys to help you find another word that sounds similar to something else, or a word that rhymes to something else. Helping out like that, but then it's another thing, because then everything is already done. You can let it go in another way. But if I start on scratch with a white paper, I need to be alone. I need to let my mind just do the magic. I can't be disturbed at that point.
Of course. Does this songwriting mode come naturally, out of nowhere, or do you have to put yourself intentionally in a certain position in order for you to get into songwriting mode?
I'm very, sensitive for how I feel emotionally. I mean, if I feel bad, if I don't feel well in general, I can't write music. I need to find my happy place to write. I can't be frustrated or angry or having problems with something or being stressed. Then nothing comes out of me. But as long as I'm in my happy place and I feel good, then I can write whenever. Then I just take a guitar, and then I know that there will be a song today.
Interesting. And the final question I want to ask you is because I never asked you this in the other 2 times I've interviewed you, and I always forgot, and it's my favorite question to ask every artist because it's the hardest question for them to answer.
Okay.
Right.
How long is the rope?
There you go. Well, I've noticed Out of My Life is just a little bit over 3 minutes, but then you have a song like Battle from Within that's 4.5 minutes, and then you have a song like Blood Brothers that's just 4 minutes. So I'm curious, how do you know when a song is done?
I mean, for me, I've always listened to music that are based in that format, so to say, where you have two verses and, you focus most on your songwriting around the choruses and then maybe a C part or a guitar solo. And I guess that just sticks to your spine in a way. I have my way of writing songs, and I don't like all those passages where you have 2 minutes in the middle of the song, which is just instrumental, or it could be cool. I mean, like Halloween, for example, Keeper of the Seven Keys, which is like 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
Or Ryan with Metallica, which is fantastic songs, but those songs are already the best. Why should I try to do some instrumental endeavors that I can't really handle? So I leave that to others. I mean, like, I want the songs to be catchy and go straight to your heart and get stuck in your mind. Mm-hmm. So that's usually why. And I guess it's the tempos that decides how long the songs are getting. But usually I write songs that are between 3 to 4.5 minutes long, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes the simple.
Sometimes the simple is the best.
Yeah, there you go. So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time today. I know it sounds pretty hectic out there.
Actually, it was nice to talk to you. You got some time for myself now while the kids are playing, so that's nice.
Yeah. Is there just obviously this new record, No Halos in Hell? It's scheduled to come out November 15th. Is there just can we be expecting to see Cyhra on the road anytime soon?
Yeah, we are starting our European tour together with Battle Beast on the same day, actually. We start in Sweden, and then we go all around Europe, ending somewhere in Germany in the mid-December. Mm-hmm. And after that, we have we're booking up right now, and hopefully we will come over to the States again later next year too. So absolutely, cross my fingers for that.
Yep, absolutely, and awesome. So thank you so much, Jake.
It was so nice to talk to you, and
likewise, everybody.
Until we speak again.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, we are here with Jake E of Cyhra, No Halos in Hell, out November 15th via Nuclear Blast. Be sure to pick that up. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We'll see you next time.